Alright, something a little bit different today. I wanted to kind of just bring you along on these like off-roading trips to show you how I make my short films. If you come from Instagram, you know that I love to do these little short cinematics with either my truck or my Porsche. So I figured I'd just bring you guys along, kind of showing you how I do it, essentially, what I bring with me, different kind of camera angles that I get, compositions that I like to get, utilizing obviously like a tripod, suction mounts, and then obviously like exterior and interior shots. So a few accessories that are an absolute must-have whenever I'm going out, and obviously first and foremost is a tripod. Now I actually have two. I'm using the Tree Root by Falcam right now, Falcam, I don't know, but that's what the FX3 is on. And then I have the Peak Design travel tripod. Two tripods is my recommendation because I will always try and capture like an A scene and a B scene. So I'll always recommend two tripods. One other crucial, this is probably my favorite accessory for my vehicle scenes, and that's this suction mount from Delkin. I've used this for a couple of years. Use this with huge caution. I don't use a tether. I probably should use a tether. One thing that I do whenever I put it on is I always spray down the suction cups and the surface that I'm putting it on. I've only had it fall once, and that's when I didn't wipe down the surface. It was early, I was tired, and I was in the desert and it was sandy, so it just slid off. Luckily it landed in sand. But a tether is probably a good idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount my A7C2 with this Remus 45mm. This is the first time I've set up the Remus on here. I can't use the FX3 because I'm filming on it right now, and the FX6 is too heavy for this setup. Well, actually probably not, but it's just bulky. So I actually need to undo the window. So let me do that real quick. Pretty much good to go. Now the nice thing about this setup is that I have the lens resting on the sill right here. So if I bring you guys around, you can kind of see that angle's pretty nice right there. So this one right here is one of my favorites, but as I mentioned, I'm testing it a little different because the camera is mounted outside of the truck. Now, this is even more sketchy because if it falls, then it's falling outside of the truck. For the most part, I do use this setup with the suction mount, but it's mainly in the car. So if it was to fall, it's not a problem. But now, this is the first time I'm using it, so you're gonna catch me looking over, a little anxious as we go off-road. But seems to be holding up pretty well. But this is nice because obviously it just adds like a passenger POV to whatever short film you're making. You know, it's literally as if you're in the passenger seat, you're there with the driver experiencing, you know, this drive. It's as if you're here with me off-roading right now. Now, as I mentioned, this obviously can be used, you know, not just on the door, outside of the car, going through the window. Because I didn't quite like this, the height of this one. This is another example in the Tetons where I just had it mounted actually to my tripod just over the passenger seat, so a little bit different. But then here's another one where I have it mounted to the window itself inside the truck, and I was obviously able to have it a little bit higher just because of the way the seats are in the truck. Having it on the windowsill, I wasn't too happy with looking back at that footage. Now, in all honesty, these are probably my all-time favorite types of shots because it just gets you a POV that is totally different. Here I have it mounted to the hood of my car. Now, obviously, when you're off-road, you do get some kind of unwanted and somewhat aggressive shakes. On-road, it's a lot better, it's a lot smoother. Sometimes you get lucky though. It's all about how you mount it with the suction cups. This one, for example, I'm off-road, I'm not going slow, and it's really smooth. So I just dialed it in with that mounting. I want to take this moment to just ask you a question. What would you make
if you had a budget of $100,000. As creators, we can have some of the wildest visions, and sometimes we just don't have the budget to make them. Well, Artlist are giving away $100,000 for one individual creator to make their vision a reality. No matter what type of creator you are, you can pitch your absolute wildest, out of this world concept. This is open until October 24th, so go ahead and submit your idea as soon as you can. All you need to do is post a video on your socials showcasing your $100,000 idea, tag artlist.io and use the hashtag Artlist100kfund. Extra information can be found on their website at artlist.io. Best of luck, and I cannot wait to see what the winner will make.
Okay, so now we're gonna do obviously the most classic shot, and that is a static shot. So I've got our tripod, and I'm gonna get out the FX6 for this one. So I'm gonna put the Blazer Remus 45 on the FX6. The great thing about the FX6 is that it has 1.5x D-squeeze. So it's kind of a match made in heaven for these Remus lenses. And this is obviously that new Falcon tripod I was talking about. I love this, honestly. This is probably one of the best ball heads I've ever used. Locks into place really nicely. And I'm probably insanely close. Oh no, that's okay. So this is the not so romantic side of doing this, because I'm gonna have to walk up the road, set up the camera, lock in my focus. So we'll talk about focus in a minute. Walk back to the truck, drive through, check that I liked it, and then walk back and get the camera. But it's all worth it. Got the camera set up obviously in the truck. This just makes like a nice kind of secondary scene. Once again, similar to the one where it was in the window, it makes you feel like you're in here, but it wobbles really badly. This tripod isn't the best setup, and I don't really have much space in the back of the truck. So I've wedged one of the legs in the back. We've wedged that leg. This leg right here is wedged in that seat. And then the other legs are kind of like just down. I've used my backpack to kind of add some more weight, but it's still not enough. If I shake this, it wobbles. So another option would be to like ratchet down, tether it to something better. But we're gonna see if this works and go from there. This is the other setup that I'm talking about. So you can see I've got the FX3 kind of up here on the, it's kind of out of frame, but it's on the Delkin, and it's already started to drop down. You can see I can just move it. So what I'm gonna do now is add this secondary point to the bottom quarter 20 on the FX3. So it's like a magic arm that has these like quick release plates instead of just like a little twisty thing. And then just slide in. So I'm gonna lock this in, get it to the right position. Maybe one more. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of a little bit of give and take here. Slide that in, and now it's locked in. So now we have 2 points of contact. So I can lock this down, nice and tight. And this isn't gonna droop. It's not gonna droop one bit. Can't go forward, can't go up, literally won't fall off unless the suction cups fail. And that's it. So now we're gonna see, we've lost a ton of light because this took me forever. But we're gonna see how this turns out.
I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I can't let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Yeah, yeah. They getting nervous, I seen it. What I seen, you wouldn't believe it. They say they want it, I need it. Damn.
A little bit of a time crunch now because we got some stormy clouds, and I want to capture this next scene with some light. So there's a scree field on this trail and it opens out, no trees on the right of me, and we're at the peak, no, we're at the base of a mountain, and the drone scene is amazing. And that brings me to the next point of, you know, fully rounding out like a good short film is you have to have a drone. It is one of the best things to set the scene in a more wider sense because you're able to get in, you know, angles and compositions that obviously you just can't get from the ground. So we're going to book it through and get this scene establishing shot with the drone. Time is against me right now. I'm actually going to have to swap battery because I did charge one on the way down and that one does not have much power. But basically, as I mentioned, the drone is such a good way to set the scene more, and I really wanted to get this shot. I'm a little frazzled because we've got some good light and I want to get it before we lose it because I can see that there's some clouds on the horizon. But oh no, just so you're on the same page, this is the Mavic 3 Classic, like nothing fancy, does what I need to do. And we're gonna get this up and get a nice drive-by.